Welcome back, everybody. When Kate Middleton joined the royal family, not only did she become a historical figure, but she became an instant fashion icon. And with that status, she brought a level of relatability to the usual formality of regal dressing. And here to explore Kate's sartorial journey is the author of The Duchess of Cambridge, a decade of modern royal style, Bethan Holt. Welcome to The Social, Bethan.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm sure some people might consider fashion sort of a superficial hobby, but when it comes to the monarchy, their style choices can hold a much deeper significance. Can you tell us a little about the role fashion plays in the royal family?
Yeah, you're right. It's really, really important for the royal family. Very often we don't really hear them speak very much at all, especially people like Kate and the Queen. They're women of very few words, but they tell us so much about themselves and what they feel passionate about through their clothing choices, whether that's a colour that they're wearing, a piece of jewellery that they've chosen especially for the occasion, or a brand choice as well. So there's so much that we can tell about the message that they want to convey through the clothes that they choose.
So still with her, a lot of style gurus, the one thing that you often hear a lot of them say in their own ways is that her style is so much more accessible. For example, she does do this, quote unquote, high-low dressing. So take a look at her stunning Alexander McQueen wedding dress. And then she wore this beautiful Zara dress the very next day. And so what does that kind of high-low approach, where she does provide this still super high fashion moment with something that is accessible to the rest of us, what does that say about how we're viewing and how perhaps she's changing royal style?
That was such an inspired choice, I think. I think on that day, 10 years ago nearly, we all were just witnessing this kind of fairy tale marriage of a prince to a new princess, a future queen to a future king. It was the stuff of fairy tales, and she had the dress to match that. We knew on that day that she was going to be a kind of a queen like no other. But then suddenly, less than 24 hours later, she's walking down the grass in Buckingham Palace in a dress that any other girl could have been wearing to work that day. She could have been wearing it out with her friends at the weekend. And so you just get this reminder that, yes, she's a queen, she's a princess, she is married to the future king, but she's, at the end of the day, kind of like the rest of us. And I think that is what people really crave now from the royal family.
Well, she's doing something right, because it seems like her brand of fashion is a major success. Fashionistas are quick to purchase her latest looks. For instance, her engagement dress sold out in minutes, and searches for the dress she wore to meet Michelle Obama caused the designer's website to actually crash. And you call this the Thecade effect. Why is her influence so appealing for the everyday lover of fashion?
Well, I think you really nailed it by using the word everyday. Kate could wear anything she wants in the world. She could wear the latest designs off the catwalk if she wanted. And that's not necessarily what she chooses. She chooses to go into stores or to buy from designers and wear things that anyone else could think, yeah, I could pull that off too, probably. I mean, of course, she looks amazing. She looks like a supermodel. But there's something about her that you think, yeah, I could wear that dress as well. It's really accessible.
Bethan, in your book, you do talk about, though, some missteps that Kate has had. In particular, in your book, you go into her 2016 trip to India, and you compare her wardrobe choices in that trip and the backlash received in that trip versus her following trip to Pakistan, which was seen as much more of a success. So let's go through what happened in India, and what do you think her fashion team learned that made the trip to Pakistan a little bit more of a success for her, at least in the fashion department?
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. I mean, she looked beautiful in India when she went on that trip. She had some incredible outfits. But I think what was really apparent was that lots of them were pieces that looked Indian, but weren't necessarily by Indian designers. And this has been a huge topic of conversation in fashion over the last several years, kind of cultural appropriation. She had these dresses that were bought from British high street stores, so really weren't benefiting India at all. And yet they kind of looked like you could have bought them in an Indian market. So lots of people maybe just felt a little bit uncomfortable with that. There were a few Indian designers kind of peppered in there, but I think she had a much more sophisticated strategy when she went to Pakistan, because she dressed almost exclusively in brands that are from Pakistan, designers who were benefiting in Pakistan and using techniques that were really, local to that country. And what I really loved covering that as a journalist was seeing all this stuff on social media while she was there of these women who were saying, oh my gosh, I just went out on my lunch break and bought that scarf that Kate was wearing because it was from, an Indian, a Pakistani brand.
Well, this is another strategy. I think we all remember the dresses Kate wore after Prince George and Louis were born, which paid homage to Princess Diana because she wore something very similar after the births of William and Harry. And these felt like clear examples of fashion paying homage to royal history, essentially. And it also exemplifies the amount of planning that goes into these looks before the public even lays eyes on them. So can you quickly break down that process of choosing a final outfit from start to finish?
Yes, well, I mean, Kate is obviously not doing all this on her own. She has several people that she works with, chiefly Natasha Archer, who's been her stylist since around 2013 and been working with her before that. And Natasha, from talking to the designers for my book, I realized that she really researches every aspect of the outfit in meticulous detail to make sure that they're not going to get anything wrong. So I'm sure with these looks for leaving the hospital, she was looking back at what Diana had worn in those moments and thinking, what can we do that is going to make Diana part of that moment? And so by wearing outfits that were very similar, everyone then got those pictures out and was making the comparisons. And obviously for William, that must have been very difficult having his first child with his mother not there. And so making her part of that moment makes it really special. So I think that was incredibly clever.
Listen, Meghan Markle is somebody we've talked a lot about in terms of her fashion as well. And as soon as she became involved with Prince Harry, very much the same thing happened to her as did with Kate. There was a lot of spotlight on her fashion. And, how would you compare their taste in fashion, each of them their own?
I think Meghan and Kate have very different styles. Meghan is this LA, California cool girl who has been on the red carpet and really knows a lot of designers. For Kate, her experience of fashion, it's very traditional English ladylike is where she's coming from. So they are really coming from different directions. I think they were very united on the fact that they both look very polished. They always want to look great, but there were lots of differences. You could tell a lot through their fashion choices about the different kinds of women that they were and the messages that they wanted to send about themselves through their style and through their clothes.
Bethan, before we let you go, we thought we'd have some fun. We're going to show you a few of Kate's lesser known but still iconic looks for you to give a quick review of. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
So here's Kate at the Calgary Stampede in 2011.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
What do you think?
Is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite Kate moments. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I just love how she really embraced the dress code here. There are actually pictures of the Queen and Prince Philip at the same event many years before, and they are both there in their very pristine outfits. And Kate and William were like, no, we're going cowboy, cowgirl. I mean, she just went all the way. And I really admired her for that,
It's adorable. Okay, let's show you another one. London, where you're in right now, 2012. And this look, you said, oh, this is Kate, the queen of the skinny jeans. Tell us about this look.
Absolutely. If there's one item which really epitomizes how Kate has completely rewritten the rules of royal fashion, it's the skinny jeans. She has just made this very casual, very easy, accessible piece of clothing completely her own and shown that a duchess can wear it.
Bethan, a fascinating discussion. Thank you so much for joining us today. And her book, it is entitled The Duchess of Cambridge, A Decade of Modern Royal Style. It is out now. Check it out. We'll be back after this.